We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the Shiny League finales. This tournament, we are in Game 2 of the Grand Finals. TTV versus Shiny, Team Shiny, we should say. And I do have, still with me, the wonderful, amazing, undupulous, never replicated, how do you say those things? Anyway, Nekkra, ladies and gentlemen, please say hi to the people.
Wow, hello everybody. Dr. K, you give me the best intros I feel like I've ever heard anybody do, so thank you so much. I'm super honored to be back for the second match between these two incredible teams to determine the winner of the Shiny League. And we're walking into this with TTV with one match win under their belt, so we're going to have to see Team Shiny step it up here.
And step it up, they will definitely have to, being that this is also a best of 3, so it's not even best of 5 like certain tourneys might do, so it's very key that they win this next one. Otherwise, TTV is gonna basically take the tournament. Main difference here, of course, in team lineups and things is that we're seeing Rin for Team Shiny right now is actually switched to Venusaur. There's sort of a lot of thinkings behind this. One of them might be just perhaps not as practiced, let's say, with Garchomp. If you want to dive into personally what's going on with Rin, we don't always know that, though. I mean, Rin may be perfectly fine with Garchomp and everything, but Venusaur maybe going to provide some of that CC. Hopefully something that can help them here, especially going up against Cinderace. That's not always a wonderful matchup to do. That will be the starting buzzer, and if we did not mention already, Team Shiny right now is purple, so if you were watching Game 1 with us, TTV actually was the purple squad when we were spectating, and so I don't want this to be too jarring of a change or anything, but just to make note of that.
Yeah, we can see that there is that typical 1-1-3 split coming in from both of these teams, as we did see in game number 1, but an early objective lead coming in here.
I suppose we should also mention maybe something that we can see with that 1-1-3 manifesting on screen. Again, an early rotation from Team Shiny right now, the Cinderace, but we basically have Cinderace on Cinderace in that jungle, right?
Yeah.
And so, hopefully for an interesting makeup, but, anything can happen, obviously. And so they will be assisting on the top lane. It looks like both now.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to have that nice standoff coming in on that top lane with that Cinderace and that Lucario. Lutana was super, easily able to get to level 15 by the Zapdos fight, which I think was super important for just the team fights in general that happened in those last 2 minutes. So I just am very interested to see how that top lane skirmish goes.
That's right.
Who's going to come out on top this time?
Yeah, I mean, it can be very devastating, especially, we obviously know Lucario in general, no matter how many patches come through and they do try to nerf it, as actually Lutano is going to bring down Retsu right now, speaking of the Lucarios, and this is actually going to be pretty massive for early game. These 20-plus points right there, 26 and 23, so pretty nice advancement for TTV right there early on. But to finish that thought out, Lucario, no matter how much they do try to nerf it, it stays a viable solo top lane candidate for you.
Uh-oh. Toon getting a little punished for that greed going into Team Shiny's jungle. Wanted to steal that core fish, but unfortunately, they get knocked out in the process. I think it was a great rotation from Team Shiny to make sure that Toon wasn't going to take too much advantage of the spoils in front of them.
And that's interesting. You have to wonder also if maybe TTV, are they confident right now, right? It's like, hey, we've got that win under our belt, and I think that this is a team that obviously knows what they're doing, right? We know that they have many Season 1 tourney wins under their belt, but, I mean, let's not front. Even Season 2, lots of tourney wins as well. Yeah. And so whether you want to call them top team or not in general Season 2, still a team that knows what they're doing, am I right? So, you wouldn't expect, of course, for them to get overconfident and let that affect their gameplay too much. So it all will unfold, though, as this match continues.
Well, you also have that interesting element for this game number 2 in that change up to the Venusaur. So that more long-range damage, that crowd control you were talking about, Rin could really make a huge impact here, especially when knowing that you were going up against a Cinderace before. But nice score there from Retsu just to sink a couple of Eos energy in as this Dreadnought spawns on the beach.
And so yes, with both objectives on the map, being that these are the first ones, of course, they will appear at the same time. Any subsequent Dreadnought, Rotom will, of course, appear later on based on when they are taken out. Right now we have all of TTV. Looks like Retsu just a slight bit late, but I mean, hey, you're not really late unless it just doesn't pay off for you, right? So was there in time, but we are going to see actually Faz go down for Team Shiny. The team fights are still going though, and Dreadnought now at about 75%, just barely there.
Ooh, is someone gonna steal it? Oh my goodness.
We actually don't even know. It looks like, yeah, that's going to be TTV.
No, I was like, maybe Team Shiny is going to be able to steal that away. But TTV does secure the objective that they started on first. And I think that was because of a really great frontline hold coming in from Zugrug there on the Wigglytuff.
Yeah, and Zug is, I would say, extremely, like, we're going to talk about the expert, top of the league right here, and that is going to be actually Retsu downed once again right here for Team Shiny, unfortunately. There is going to be a Blazing Bicycle kick down, though, from Elo right now, as their Cinderace going to go on the Mad Tear and hopefully take somebody down, but no, Goof will reverse that with the Unite from Pikachu. But like we were saying, Zugrug is essentially one of the top players to watch if you are looking for somebody who plays Wigglytuff like a defender. Maybe when he was in his days of Snorlax, Mr. Mime, able to put himself in between Danger and his team, as of course Ivysaur is now down right there. That would be Rin from Team Shiny.
Perfect defense coming in here, but I think it's time for Team Shiny to turn up the heat a little bit. It seems like they are biding their time before finding the right opportunity to really make a move here. I think they're doing a fantastic job, though, of just making sure that they keep pace with what's going on TTV's side. But take a look at this. They have yet to secure an objective, and this Rotom might also go to TTV. That would be a huge lead set coming in for TTV. I mean, take a look at the score line right now as we pass that halfway mark.
Yeah, this is a wonderful point because, again, TTV has put on the pressure a lot. At first, we were thinking, hey, are they sort of resting on their laurels? They've got that win and everything. But no, we're starting to see where it comes down to those squad fights, TTV really has it handled right. And so there's going to be a Rotom for them as well. So that's just even more pressure that you don't want to deal with if you're Team Shiny, let's be honest. And so right now that Dreadnought is actually going to appear on the map now again for that second Dread at this moment. Right now, we kind of got about half and half, although more TTV members are going to come to join on this skirmish right here. Possibly anyone's Dread, but looking more like TTV.
Yeah, especially with that knockout of Rin on that Venusaur, and it looks like we're also going to see the knockout onto that Slowbro as well. This is easy pickings for TTV to continue to secure that lead in this game, and they've already doubled it at this point, Dr. K. We saw a massive comeback of Team Shiny in that match number 1 to be able to secure about 300 Eos energy in the final 2 minutes with that Zapdos secure. But that's looking like it might be tougher for Team Shiny to make that score comeback with, even with that Zapdos.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the pressure is on, really. So at this point, if you're Team Shiny, you're looking at 3 minutes, 3:30 on the clock, we should say. And so obviously we're going to be entering the final stretch at 2. But what can we do in between then? And the question becomes also, do we really save up a lot of points and wait for that final stretch maybe? And we get in, all those points that we had accumulated. There are going to be some crucial KOs once again right here against Team Shiny. So TTV is going to push them back even further. And we do have time, of course, to get another Rotom before Zapdos, as we see that will be on the map in about 23 seconds right now.
Yeah, you can already see Wigglytuff rotating towards that top lane to help out Lutano on that Lucario, and this is still putting on a ton of pressure, especially knowing that those lanes have been cracked wide open in the top and the bottom on Team Shiny's side of the stadium. You have the Vespiquen and the Combees that are going to be spawning there as well. It just really helps to keep up the pressure. But
yeah,
Toon already doing some damage where that Rotom's going to spawn.
Yes, and this is just very deadly if you have Cinderace picking away at... I mean, look at how quickly that happened, right? So we just saw the Rotom basically go from 100 to 0 instead of 0 to 100, right? But Cinderace with the Scope-Lens, for instance, that's just going to be criticals. And Cinderace in general, just that master of long range, quick, high damage, kind of glassy, and Rotom going very, very fast. Sometimes with Indie Bear is very good at this, but you can leaf Tornado that Rotom to go even further, faster, and reach that top goal sooner. But Team Shiny is going to put up that kind of last-second resistance against it, as Zapdos is now here.
Wow, that was such a well-timed play coming in from TTV to be able to push that Rotom in, kind of take the advantage away from Team Shiny, but
that's gonna
wow,
be the
look
steal.
At this.
Can you believe it?
Oh my gosh.
So Team Shiny will pull out that steal, and we're going to see TTV make the advancement, though, just kind of beeline it straight for their goals as well. So this is going to be an insane final stretch, ladies and gentlemen, where there are going to be scores all throughout. I think the hype is coming because we're at 379 right now for Team Shiny right now to TTV, so actually pulling ahead with that 100.
Oh my gosh, and this is where it gets a little bit tough because of that steal onto the Zapdos and the fact that TTV already cracked open the bottom and the top lane. Their only real choice right now is to go after the main base to secure that Eos energy. So that's a bit risky, especially knowing that there's going to be members of Team Shiny's respawning. But wow, just like that with that Zapdos steal, Team Shiny is in a massive lead over TTV for this game too.
Yes, and, that was actually a crucial KO against Lutano, who did, he was set to score in a 100. It's just, obviously, without the Zapdos charge, that can be a little bit harder, but this is what you need. You're seeing TTV all are going to gather right here on this bottom lane. We're going to have most, if not all, of the squad, but, again, that was a pretty crucial blow to TTV to not have Lutano score that in, so he has to, obviously, respawn. The respawn timer is going to be a lot longer now here at this late, but here comes that squad battle, vying for that goal right here. It all is going to unfold. Last few seconds.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like Zug is going to try their best to stay alive, but to no avail. There's just too much strength on Team Shiny right now for anybody on TTV to score final points to be able to go towards this game number 2. And it looks like, Dr. K, that might be it. Let's go ahead and see that final score coming in for this game 2.
I think you're right. I think that is it. Viewers at home are going to see, I think, a victory from Team Shiny. Obviously, let's see what the scoreboard says, but what a wonderful final stretch as the last score right here is going to be 479 to 333 in favor of Team Shiny. This is what we all like to see because now it is one game, one for TTV and one game for Team Shiny. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. What an amazing final stretch, and thank you to Nekkra for once again coming here to commentate with me and see these masterful teams right in this Shiny League finales. And so it's going on to game 3, but before we leave, I just wanted to say, Nekkra, please tell the people where we can find you, Twitter, Twitch, anything.
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Nekkra and on YouTube at Nekkra VGC. Super excited to be back for some Pokemon Unite. Love this game to pieces, and it's even more special that I get to do this with you, Dr. K.
Thank you, and likewise. And so viewers at home, thank you so much for viewing. Click an end screen if you haven't yet, and maybe check out Game 1.